Welcome back to another edition of Ramble On Woodworking. Today we're going to be turning a magnetic chrome resin pen. This kit I bought on Amazon and is manufactured by Crooked Mill. I'll leave a link down below to that and to all the other items that we use today. Start off by marking the brass tubing up against the blank. Make it a little longer than you need in case you need to make an adjustment after you make your cut. If you're using a miter saw to make this cut, a nice, slow, smooth cut is best. And then it's time to mount it up into the pen vise. My pen vise is a Savannah pen vise. I like it because it's very adjustable. It's very sturdy. It's got a sacrificial base to the bottom, so you're not going to be putting your drill bit into the metal material. This blank, because it's a single barrel blank, is fairly long, and although my drill bit, which is made by Fish and is quite high quality, is long, it is longer than the throw on my drill press, and so I needed to make that hole in 2 passes. After we're done with the boring of the hole in the pen blank, it's time to rough up our brass tube with some 60 grit sandpaper. You know that doing this makes for a better adhesion of the tube to the blank when we glue it in. And so it's always good to put on some gloves before working with the super glue. A bead along the length of the tube is fine. We're going to give it a good twist inside the blank to give ourselves all of the coverage that we need for a nice snug fit. You have about 3 to 5 seconds to work with the tube, so don't hesitate when putting it in. If you get any inside the tube like we did there, a Q-tip or a paper towel works just fine for getting out the extra. Be sure to do that before inserting the bushings, which is the next step. You don't want to glue your bushings into the brass tube before mounting it onto the mandrel on the lathe. This mandrel is adjustable for length depending upon, like most pen blank mandrels are, for length depending upon how long your sections are. I use simple wood turnings carbide tools with color-coded handles. This is great because I know what I'm reaching for before I take the tip off. And today I'm going to use the rounded carbide tipped tool. It works great at both breaking down the blank into a cylinder as well as giving you a nice smooth finish on the surface as we get near the diameter of the bushings. Just take light passes, of course. You can see the small chips that are coming off as the blank starts to take shape. I'll just speed it up here a little bit. This is 4 times faster. And those chips start to get slightly longer until the blank gets round enough that we get nice long shavings. You may find that sometimes it's useful to wear a glove, as those shavings can sometimes be hot. But a few months ago I set up a hood surround for my lathe. You can see that I've got my dust collection system connected to that hood, and there's a small corner of it showing. You might see more of it in other shots. It really does a great job at moving a lot of the material away from me. I know it doesn't look it, but before I had done this, you just get covered in shavings, and it's not very healthy, and it's also makes quite a mess. So it's getting near the end. You need to remove those shavings so you can see the bushing to know what diameter you're looking to achieve, but we're getting close. And so we slow down those cuts now so we get a nice smooth finish. If you go too fast, you'll get a lot of grooves on the blank, and that just means more time sanding. The shape for this pen, I suppose ideally would be just a cylinder of equal diameter down its whole length, but you really could make it any shape you'd like, cigar shaped or anything else. So we're at that diameter now. We're ready for finishing, and we're going to go through the micro mesh sequence here of all the grits. The micro mesh I have two sets. One sits in a bowl that is constantly soaking for wood turning on resin, so that it can keep it cool. And wet sanding is always more effective on the resin. If I'm using it for woodworking, then we will use the dry micro meshes, and just a light touch. You don't need to bear down too hard. And so there we see the diameters coming along nicely, and we have a nice smooth finish. It's time now to move on to the final compounding, if you will. I've started using Meguiar's cutting compound. This is the 105 first. It's a very fine grit polishing compound, just like you might use on auto body work. Just rub it on and then just let the lathe do the work, and you get a nice smooth finish. I then will move up to the 205, which is a final polishing compound, and it does a real nice job of making a mirror smooth finish. There you see the 205. Again, links down below to all of these products that I've bought myself, and through trial and error have found to be real worthwhile. After polishing with the 205, you can see we have a nice smooth finish that you could stop here and would probably be quite happy with. I'm going to put a friction coat or the hot crystal coat on here just to build up a slightly more significant finish. Apply this wet, and then turn the lathe on, and with a little bit of pressure but not too much. If you push too hard, you will burn the finish and it will get chalky and unattractive. Doesn't take much. This is in real time, and before you know it, you're done. So now we can take the blank off the lathe and bring it over to the assembly stage. Assembly is a very personal thing. Some people can use, don't mind using a bench vise. Some people I've seen use shop clamps. I happen to have the Milescraft 4700 pen press. I think it's great because it's spring loaded. It's easily adjustable. It's very comfortable to use, and you have a lot of control over the amount of pressure that you can place onto the pens. I really like the chrome finish on this kit. It really stands out nicely against the color of the resin. So I'll just speed it up here a little bit, but you see there's the cap, and then we move on to the tip. The refills are readily available from places like Amazon or local stationery stores. I think this one is a cross refill, so it's very popular. I promised in future videos to unwrap the different parts of the kit, so you don't have to watch that, but there you go. Hope you liked this video. If you wouldn't mind, hit the subscribe button and give me a thumbs up, and we'll see you again real soon. Thanks for watching.